on Facebook Marketplace because I look for nice, cheap tools that I can get and fix up, and maybe something I'm missing, or just sometimes just for the heck of it. And I just got the Porta Cable Sawzall, which I call the Porta Bauer because I retrofitted it with a Bauer connector. I'm gonna do the same thing with this DeWalt saw, and I'm curious which one is going to be the better of the two. The DeWalt looks like it's older. It goes to that previous battery platform where you have the NiCad batteries. The model number for this particular saw is a DW938. Has 2,800 strokes per minute. I'll be interested to see how it performs. Looks like it's a little bit. I'm sure it should spring all the way back. Got a little bit of rust. Don't know if we're going to go into fixing all the different cosmetic things, but we'll definitely retrofit it for that new battery, test it out, and maybe after that we can do a little bit more cosmetic stuff like clean it up. I have a Bauer battery. I'm going to take it and jump it over to these terminals, and we're going to just make sure that the saw runs before we go any further. This is the negative terminal for the battery on the Bauer. I'm just sliding the little stay-on connector. We'll see if I can get it to stay in place. May need to finagle a little bit. There we go. And then we have our positive. I don't like the way it's being pulled toward the other one. I want them shorten out and making me jump and become afraid. Well, hey, that's it. Exactly right there. That's what happens when you're an idiot. All right, so this is hooked up positive to positive. I actually looked up online just to see which one was positive and negative on this old saw because I don't see anything that actually says that. I don't know how much of a difference that'll make because it's a reciprocating saw, but I want to be correct in testing it just to make sure everything's properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tap the trigger a little bit. It should be DeWalt variable speed trigger. It shouldn't be an all or nothing. So here we go. Saw works, sounds good. Battery works with it. Battery compatibility really shouldn't be an issue on an old saw like this. Some newer stuff, you have some specific communication going on between the battery and the saw. The older stuff is just a battery, and sometimes there's a temperature sensor or something inside the battery. But this, I'm just keeping it really, really simple. So this works. We can use it. So I went and bought the USB adapter. So I'm going to open it up, take a look at it, see what I'm going to have to do to swap it over to mount it to the bottom of this battery plate because it'll be flat instead of a barrel style battery. Before I go take a look at the Bauer connector, let's take a quick look at the motor brushes. There's a little metal spool, a thin strip, and it's pressing this motor brush down in toward the commutator. So I'm going to take it, pick it up like this, and the motor brush, I don't know if it can come all the way out. Are we stuck right there? No. There we go. It looks pretty good right there. Plenty of life left into that. I don't think anyone's been using it too heavily. I chose Bauer tools because to me, they're affordable. They have a wide variety, and a lot of people, they don't like them because they're Harbor Freight. I like them. I don't have any issues with them, although I'm sure eventually I'll have some issues. I've had some issues that I've made before, but the batteries have held up for me. They have pretty good deals on them. But you can do the same sort of thing with any brand you want if you really want to. I would have done Makita, but Makita's a little bit more expensive, and I'm not a rich man, so I just chose Bauer. And Makita, they make a lot of adapters you can buy online, and I'm sure there's more. I know Ryobi sells them, but Ryobi has a weird style batteries that are the older style, so they don't work as well. So this is just a little device you slide into a battery to get USB power, which is pretty cool. I'm not using it for that. I don't think I'm going to leave the USBs active on it. I don't think that would be wise. I'm not sure if it would damage them depending on how it's set up. But what I'm going to do is get rid of this at some point. But right now, I'm going to unscrew it and just see how it is set up on the inside to see what I'll be able to do. I like the fact that once you get rid of the clip, it's flat, and hopefully we can put it directly on the bottom of this and have those batteries slide on real easy. And we could put them from either direction or whatever. Let's go ahead and take it out. All right, so it feeds into our circuit board. See, I could theoretically leave these active and just put another set of wires right here, but I don't know if having that power tool active, it could be fine. But what I would normally do, what I've done in the past with the other devices, the light that I've used, is just unsolder these wires and use our red and our black. I take the wires off so I can use a little bit thicker wiring because we're going from something that doesn't draw very much power to something that draws quite a bit more. I don't know that they wouldn't work, but I want to make sure the tool has the gauge wiring it needs to perform the best. So that's why I would take these off. So what I'm going to do, and I can put this board onto something else, I guess, some other battery, but I don't know. So it hooks to this board has 3 wires, red, yellow, and black, positive and negative. And on the Bauer battery, it looks like it also hooks to the C2 terminal or TH. I'm not a battery expert. If one of you knows what that's all about, why it hooks like that, please let me know, and I learned something right here, and I'd appreciate that. Also, you can voice your opinion whether or not you think I can leave this circuit board in here, leave this device active while I have it connected to a power tool with a decent amount of draw as far as amperage. I was told never to use snips like this, but I'm sorry. Inside of this casing, it says PA6 plus GF30. And I don't know if that's a type of plastic or grade of plastic, but I'll try to look that up and see. And I'll learn something, and maybe somebody else will too. All right, I'm going to have to cut this off. I might be able to use, let's see if I should leave it together to do this. It might be easier. With the oscillating tool, probably. Could have done better. Could have been worse, though. Hopefully be hidden by the saw. The battery can mount from the back. Let's see if I have enough room. It looks like it's about right, split dead down the center, so there should be enough room for this to fit on top. Okay. If I anchor it to one side, then I can still take it apart without having to take this off. Well, we'll see. We'll see how well that works. So we have our piece. It's going to slide up in there, but it's going to need a way to get up to the top. So I'll have to drill a hole or something like that, which is no big deal. I can just notch this with a pair of snips. It doesn't have to be beautiful because it can be concealed. I do want to say that on the back side of this trigger switch right here, I do see where there is a negative and positive designation. The positive being closer to the trigger and the negative being the backside, farther from the trigger. So it is written on here so you can tell, which is nice. What I'm wondering is how best connect the trigger with the Bauer adapter. Uh, the battery used to just have a pin that slid up into these slots right here and it would pinch on it. I can't really do that now because it's not really a permanent fix. I can take this off maybe, or maybe have some sort of other connection. So I got these red Stacons right here, and I'll have to see how they work as far as fitting onto the wire. I have a feeling they're going to fit just fine. What I'm going to do, I have plenty of extra wire right here, and I can store it all up in here. There's plenty of room, I think. Our brown and our blue. Brown and our blue. Having a hard time remembering which one's which now. That's nice. Load up our steak on here. And there's a steak on right here. So I don't think it's too frowned upon. I need to get me some of them ratcheting crimpers. I might get some of those for Christmas. We got our blue, which is our negative. It's going to be to the rear of the saw, away from the trigger, as I recall. You guys, if I recalled it incorrectly, can all sit there and go, no, that's wrong. What have you done? And I'll be like, I don't know. The apocalypse. That's a little bit better right there. The brown is positive. There we go. Now, they're pretty tight in there. Now, I don't know if dropping a solder in there will cause that to stick or not, but I might put some in there just to kind of form even a wedge on it. So, and it ain't going to heat it up too much and damage anything, I don't think. Famous last words from the fool right there. Let's see what happens, and then we can test out a battery. Blow ourselves up. Kapow! It might have worked. That just might have worked right there. Let me try that again. I am not a professional solderer. That is for sure. Try to get it to stick that trigger. I think it might have actually stuck on there a little bit. I'll be daggone. That might have actually worked. Who knew? Success from a redneck. We're going to plug in and see if we are in business here or we're out of business. It looks like we're in business. It's just a question of mounting. So we'll have to get everything put back together. I know I can super glue the bottom here, but we might probably put some. I put some bolts and some of the other stuff. It was a little ugly, but maybe we can think of a way to make it look a little prettier. We'll try that out. So what I'm going to try to do is to take this bolt, line up. I have a couple notches right here, and put it through to the interior part of the sawzall. Thread a nut onto that bolt. I'll make a hole in the Bauer piece, and it'll come through like this, and then maybe cut a slot here so I can tighten the bolt, then kind of slide it down over that notch while putting super glue on it. I want it to be tight, but it does have to actually get through there. So I can super glue this piece on and then hopefully leave the other piece freestanding so that it can be disassembled easier. I don't think we're going to miss any lack of support. We can go ahead and hopefully finish this thing up.
Looking south along the highway, I see a summer rising through the dust.